The night had stretched into morning, and the tired single-dad janitor wiped his hands on the old rag dangling from his belt. His shift was over, but life was just beginning, because at home, a little girl with tangled hair and sleepy eyes was waiting for him. "Daddy, don't be late," she had whispered when he tucked her into bed before leaving for work, clutching her worn-out teddy bear. That whisper stayed with him through every mop stroke, every flicker of the dull hallway lights. He had been searching for help, a nanny, someone who could watch over his daughter while he struggled to make ends meet as a janitor, doing the job most people ignored. He didn't have the luxury of choice. All the ads he posted, all the calls he made, they ended the same way: people hung up when they heard what he could pay. He wasn't ashamed of his work, but he knew how the world looked at a man in stained overalls who smelled faintly of bleach. That morning, when the sun broke through the cracked blinds of his apartment, he held his daughter close and whispered a promise: "I'll find someone to care for you, baby. I won't let you feel alone." His heart carried the weight of his late wife's voice. Her last wish had been simple: don't let her grow up without love. He would break himself in half before breaking that promise. The doorbell rang, sharp and sudden. His heart raced as he opened the door, expecting another polite stranger ready to reject his offer. But what he saw froze him. Standing there was a woman, young yet worn with life's battles, her hair tucked under a faded scarf, and over her shoulder, yes, over her shoulder, was a small wooden crib. She looked tired, but her eyes carried something he hadn't seen in a long time: purpose. "Are you the janitor looking for a nanny?" she asked softly. He blinked, unsure if this was real. "Yes, but why the crib?" She set it down gently as if placing down her entire story. "Because I don't just come to care for children. I bring a piece of safety with me. When I saw your ad, something in me said, I need to be here." His daughter peeked from behind his legs, curious and cautious. The woman knelt, smiled gently, and without hesitation, placed a small stuffed bunny in the crib. "This," she said, "isn't just a bed. It's a promise. Wherever I go, I carry this, so the child I care for never feels like they don't belong." The little girl's eyes lit up as she touched the crib, running her fingers along its edges. She whispered, "Mommy had one like this." And the father's heart cracked wide open, because his late wife's crib, too broken to keep, had been a memory he never thought his daughter would see again. Days turned into weeks, and the woman proved herself more than just a nanny. She became a healer. She cooked meals the little girl actually finished. She taught her lullabies in the evenings, songs that carried the warmth of generations. The janitor would come home after scrubbing floors and find his daughter laughing, a sound he hadn't heard in so long it made his knees weak. But the father carried doubt in silence. One evening, as he watched her rock his daughter to sleep, he finally asked, "Why would someone like you, someone with so much kindness, work for someone like me?" The woman's eyes softened. "Because I was once the child waiting for someone to notice me. A janitor saved me too. My father was one." Her voice cracked but steadied. "And I will never forget what it means to be loved by someone the world overlooks." It was then he realized, this wasn't just help. This was destiny weaving two broken stories into one whole. Challenges came. The landlord threatened eviction when rent was late. His daughter fell sick with a fever that had him pacing the floor all night. But each time, the nanny stood firm, shouldering burdens that weren't hers to carry. She stayed. She fought alongside them. She reminded the janitor he wasn't alone. And slowly, the walls of shame and grief began to fall. The janitor stood taller, worked harder, and allowed himself to dream again, not just of surviving, but of giving his daughter a life filled with love, laughter, and hope. By the end, the woman's crib became more than wooden nails. It became a symbol, a reminder that love sometimes enters our lives carrying the weight of its own story, ready to build something new. So if you've listened this far, let me tell you something: don't overlook the people the world forgets. Sometimes, the strongest hearts are found in janitors, in single parents, in women who carry cribs over their shoulders just to bring love where it's needed most. And before you go, if this story touched your heart, if you believe in hope, second chances, and the power of love, hit that like button right now and subscribe. Because every story we share here is a reminder, you are not alone, and miracles are closer than you think.